Hey there, today we're going to solve an IGCSE Accounting past paper. It's the latest one available at the moment, paper 2-2 from February-March 2023. Some of you requested this paper because of your exams actually tomorrow, from the time of recording this video. The exams are tomorrow, and you may be thinking, why is this guy uploading the video so late, right? The reason is I was really sick the last week. The whole week I was super sick, and today I'm feeling slightly better, luckily, right? At least we're getting a video. And before that, I was busy with my classes for the May-June session. Right. So in this question, in this video, we'll be looking at question number 1, which is about the cash book and a little bit about the reconciliation, I guess, right? And then there's a little bit about the stakeholders, I believe. So let's have a look. Saira is a trader. The following transactions took place in January 2023. Usually the cash books are obviously actually for a month, right? So for the month of January 2023, we have this one. January 2nd, there's rent received of 360. It was paid directly into the bank account. Wait, before we get started, I have another file open on another tab on which we can deal with the question, okay? So we will deal with the question over here and copy our answers on the next one, okay, the other file. Anyway, let me just get this set up. Give me a second, okay. Just confirm if everything's recording fine. Yeah, it's in the frame. Okay, so Saira is a trader. The following transactions took place in January 2023. The rent received on January 2nd was 360, paid directly into bank. So bank account debited by 360, rent received, right? So January 2nd, rent received. How much was that? 360. Okay. Paid 343 to J by telephone transfer, having deducted 2% cash discount from the amount due. Be very careful with this type of transactions, and I noticed there are more of such kind. Now, remember there are two things. There's an amount paid and there's amount due. Okay, there are two things. There's amount paid and there's amount due. Now, of course, you should be able to realize that amount due is before any deductions of discount, because that's what's due. That's what you need to pay. So let's say amount due is $400, okay? And there is a discount of 10%, which will be 40. Well, there is no such thing as 10% cash discount. So let's just make it more realistic. Take 2%, okay? 400 times 2%. It's going to be $8. So if we deduct $8 discount, how much are we going to pay? 400 minus 8, 392. So be careful. In some questions, they will give you this figure, while in others, they will give you this figure, right? And there's a slight bit of a difference on, the way you calculate them. Now look, 400 represents the 100% of the amount, right? While this 392 represents 98% of the total amount. Am I right? So let's say in a question you're provided with the 392, how do you find the discount value? Well, what you do is you take 392, and it's after deducting 2%, so you take that as a 98, right, in percentage units, times that by, if you do that by 100, you're supposed to get 400, okay? And that means the $8 is discount, which actually checks. Hopefully that makes sense. If, let's say, the examiner gives you the amount due, not the one paid, the one that's due, well, in that case, it's simple. Just take the amount due, 400, and just take the 2%, simple, right? Because that's the actual original amount. While this one is the adjusted amount. This one is 98% of the total, and that's just 100% of it. So you don't have to really This isn't complicated. While the amount paid is slightly complicated, if you're coming from maths, if you've done IGCSE maths, which is a required subject for most of your further studies, so you must know how these percentages work. Hopefully that's clear. That's an important part to be clear with. Okay. So paid 343 to J by telephone transfer, having deducted 2%. So this is after the deduction. This is not the original amount, guys. So don't just take 2% of that. Okay. The discount wasn't 2% of that amount. It was 2% of the original amount. So this is the 98% of whatever the original was. How do we find the original? Well, we do 343 divided by 98 times, if you wish, you can do times 100, or you can just do times 2 to get the discount value. So 343 divided by 98 times 100 gives us 350. That must be the original amount due, all right? And so the discount value should be 350 minus 343, which is just $7. You could have gotten this by just multiplying by 2 here. You can test. Let me try. 343 divided by 98 times 2. That's 7. Okay? Great. So we paid that amount to J by telephone transfer. That doesn't matter, but it's paid to J. Well, that matters, the fact that it's paid through bank. Telephone transfer is just telephone banking, right? So when was that? January 4th. J. Jan 4 J. Now 350 was the original amount. 343 was paid. 343 was paid. And since it's a payment, it's actually discount received of 7. Okay, good. Let's move on. We'll go slightly faster in the upcoming questions. This was just, we got sort of distracted by that. But this is important, okay? A common mistake, a common confusion among students. Paid cash $33 for motor expenses. Cash $33 motor expenses. 33 motor expenses. Write in full. In the exam, you cannot write short forms. You need to write in full. It's on which date? 7th. Okay, don't have to write Jan again. It's just January 4th and then 7th and then so on. Okay, next, cash sales $395 were paid directly into bank. So it just goes into bank. $395 into bank. $395. You can say cash sales, or you can just say sales if you want, because the double entry will be made in the sales account, right? So that happened on the 13th. All good so far. Let's move on. Just make sure you tick as you go, so you've covered these transactions. Cash sales $395, we covered that. Let's just confirm. Yes, we've covered. Paid $194 to David by electronic transfer, again through bank, having deducted. Same problem as above. So $194 is after deducting 3% discount. It means this represents 97% of the original, right? It's the 3% is already out of it. So 194 divided by 97, and this time we'll just take 3 as multiplication. So that's just going to be 194 over 97 times 3. That's $6. Okay, it means the original amount due must be 200, isn't it? The original amount due must be 200. The amount paid is 194, and the discount, in this case received, is $6. So paid to David, which date? 17th. On 17th, paid to David, 6 discount received, and 194 paid. Okay, just make sure everything is in the right column, right? If I make a mistake, let me know in the comments, right? Because there's no mark scheme to check these answers with. It's possible to make any small error. Received a check 388 from Ivan in full settlement of a debt of 4. So this is a different way to trick you. In this case, they're not giving you any percentage, and actually that's easier way to trick you, really. This is what was received, and that was due, right? The debt was $400, and that's what we received. It means the difference was discount. 400 minus 388, which is $12, is discount allowed in this case. So 12 discount allowed, 388 pay received. Received a check, so 388 will be debited in bank. 12 will be discount allowed. The person's name is Ivan. And the date is 20. Next, withdrew cash 150 from the bank for business use. So it's not drawing, okay? That's not for personal use. It's for business use. So we call that a contra entry, isn't it? It appears on both sides of the cash book. So cash will be credited, bank will be debited by 150. Bank will be debited by 150, cash will be credited by 150. And in the details, we write the opposite account. So if cash is credited by 150, where did the money go? Into the bank. And if bank is debited by 150, where is the money coming from? From cash. Okay. Just confirm the date. It's 27th. 27th. All right, let's move on. Paid 124 cash for wages. And that's a simple transaction. Cash credit 124. Wages. When did that happen? 29th. Hopefully we're done with everything. Nothing missed, nothing placed in the wrong column, right? These are the types of mistake you may make when you are not fully active, which honestly I'm not at the moment. It's early morning over here and I'm recording this video. So let's hope for the best results. Prepare Saira's cash book on, we've done that. And the balance the cash book and bring down the balances at 1st February 2023. Fine. As you hopefully know, discount allowed and discount received columns are just totaled, right? We can make total columns for all of them, leaving one line on both the sides because we can have a debit balance on one account and a credit balance on the other. So we may have two balance BDs and CDs, right, on both the sides. Okay, so discount allowed total is just 12. Where does that go? To the discount allowed account. And discount received is 7 plus 6, 13. Fine. The cash debit side total is 110. Wait, that can't be true because we can't pay more cash than we have, right? So let me just quickly check what we might have missed. Sorry. That transaction on 27th withdrew cash 150 from the bank for business use, where cash actually went up. I don't know why I did that. It was such a silly mistake. But you see how I caught my own silly mistake with logic? Because I thought like more cash cannot be spent than you have, right? 150 cash would be debited and bank would be credited, okay? All right. Silly mistake over there. Apologies for that. Let's just balance all the columns and look at the answers, okay? 110 plus 150 would be 260. On the credit side, we have 124 plus 33, which is 157. And so the balance on cash account would be 260 minus 157, 103. That's balance carried down, right? 103. What about the bank account? Let's add up all the debits. 713 plus 360 plus 395 plus 388. That's 1856. 1856. And on the credit side is 343 plus 194 plus 150, 687. All right. Let's take the balance. It's on the credit side, so 1856 minus 687, 1169 on the credit side. We labeled that as balance carried down. and that one as balance brought down. Okay. Also, that happens at the end of the month. You can just put 30 if you like. Some months have 31 days, like January, but you may put 30. Doesn't make a huge difference because it's 30, 31. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? Doesn't make a difference. Make sure this is correct because every month starts with 1, right? So February 1st, balance brought down. Oh, also we put the totals in the totals column. 260, 260, and 1856, 1856. All right, let's move on. Syra has now, oh wait, I can just go back to this booklet. Syra has now received a business bank statement and is comparing it to her cash book. Complete the table by writing increase, decrease, or no effect in each box to show the effect of recording the items listed, which appeared only in the bank statement. The first one is completed for you as an example. Okay. So they only appeared in the bank statement, not in our cash book. Okay. Items to be adjusted. If there are any bank charges, your bank balance will reduce and your capital will reduce because your expenses will go up. When expenses go up, profit falls, capital falls, right? Credit transfer from Syra's personal bank account. What will happen to your business bank account balance? In the cash book, it will go up. There'll be an increase, all right? Because your bank account is receiving money, Syra is investing more, transferring her own money to the business, and so business bank account will go up. And also her capital will increase because that's capital introduced. Syra introduced more capital, capital goes up. Check from Ivan was dishonored. Now this is a little tricky because there is a context, okay? There's context about this one. So we have this person, Ivan, where is it? This one. And we allowed some discount, isn't it? We allowed a discount of $12. And remember, we have to also reverse that. Get it? So we accepted 388 just because they paid on time, but it turns out their check didn't go through. And so it is reversed and the discount is cancelled, right? The discount that was allowed, right? Received a check. That means that is our customer. They made us a payment. We allowed them discount. And that was our expense earlier. But now what happens is this discount will be reversed. And so our expenses will fall, the profit goes up, the capital also goes up, right? Check from Ivan was dishonored, and so of course your bank will go down because previously you assumed the money came in, but now you're reversing the transaction, and so basically it's like money went out again, right? You thought it came in, but it actually now goes back out, so decrease. Fine. This one's slightly tricky. I've never seen this before, but when a dishonored when a check is dishonored, the whole transaction is reversed. The discount allowed that's just cancelled, right? The going concern concept requires that Syra's financial statements are prepared under the assumption that her business will continue for an indefinite period of time. That's just the definition of going concern. State why each external user of the accounting statements would be interested in Syra's business continuing indefinitely. Okay. Bank manager, why would they be interested? Well, because they want their, lending back, right? To know if Syra will be able to repay loan, right? So that's why they're interested. And also to decide whether to allow Syra any loans, right? Here we're assuming that Syra has taken a loan, and that's why bank manager is concerned. Otherwise, logically, bank manager wouldn't be concerned, right? So if Syra has a bank manager who's concerned, who we're talking about right now, well, the only reason that person will be concerned if will be the situation where Syra has taken some loan, and the bank manager want to make sure that Syra is able to repay that loan with interest, right? the government, to know the continuity of taxation, right? To the continuity of receiving tax for tax purposes, we can say for tax purposes, to know the continuity of the taxes, and also for employment, actually. If the business continues, that helps the economy. The government is interested to know if these sort of businesses will survive, right? For economic reasons, for let's say, can we say political? No, for social reasons, right? Social employment reasons, isn't it? Trade payables, to decide on further lending, to decide on selling or allowing credit, right? To decide on allowing credit to Saira. To Saira. Now, of course, these are not the only points. You will have your own, and they'll be acceptable, okay, as long as they make sense. This is just what came out of my mind. Well, that's 20 marks. Easy question, fairly easy question, honestly. Just a cash book worth 13 marks. And then a couple of, only that part was tricky, I would say. That part was slightly tricky, but that's just one mark. We'll hopefully try to upload the rest of the questions within today, so you guys can watch it before your exams. Wish you all the best. Take care. Goodbye.